we had a cartoonish amount of Neopets drama this week, and the unlikely culprit was the Chomby. If you're not familiar, the Chomby is like a Brontosaurus-like Neopet, and it's, as one of my friends described last night, the most innocuous Neopet, right? It is not a source of drama ever until March 24th, 2022. The flavor of this comedy is going to be a little bit adult in nature. So if you do not have an appetite for adult comedy and Neopets intermingling, I invite you to leave the video because I'm going to be saying the word chombussy with quite some repetition throughout this video. I want to start by acknowledging the incredible gift that the Neopets team gave us, which was a Chomby Day outfit of Dr. Ellie Stattler from Jurassic Park. Huge Laura Dern fan. Actually was Ellie Stattler for Halloween a couple of years ago. Not a great look on me, whatever. It was a long pandini for everybody. That has nothing to do with the drama, but it's a great look. The big main site drama that doesn't include any side communities that we saw was that the Neopets team released a Tyrannian color for Chomby. In the earlier eras of Neopets, pets whose default color matched a world did not get a color for that world. For instance, a koi would never be Moroccan because it's already Moroccan because it's aquatic. So you don't have to make a dolphin aquatic, you don't have to make a fish aquatic, they're already aquatic. And in the same sense, Chombies would not get a Tyrannian version because their default is Tyrannian. However, in the new era of Neopets, that's kind of by the wayside, every Neopet gets an iteration. And so the Chombies iteration was released. There are some notable aspects of this art, though. It does not match the canon of what a Chomby is. And for the record, this is like my 5th time explaining this because I went out last night and I saw some friends this morning, and naturally this came up. So this design of Tyrannian Chomby does not match. Like, let's do a quick overlay of the line art here. It does not match the canon, which is a problem for customization. It means that clothes are not going to go on the Chomby in the right way. This is somewhat of an issue. However, they are adorable. This is like the cutest Chomby I've ever seen. And I used to have a baby Chomby, and I'm willing to say this is just as cute as a baby Chomby. Like, this is amazing. I love this art, but the lines don't match. It's not a canon Chomby. The fandom reacts very positively. From what I could tell across Reddit, Neopets Nation, the Facebook group, Twitter, people really like this design. So they start going out and making their own Tyrannian Chombies, which is great. That's accepted. It's wonderful. Which would just be fine and dandy if the Neopets team didn't realize, oh no, this doesn't fit the canon, you can't dress up these Neopets, and our main revenue source is being able to dress Neopets. So the Neopets team makes a very controversial decision, and they updated the artwork. They released new artwork. Here is the old Chomby design, old being like a day old, and then here is the new Tyrannian Chomby design that they rolled out with. There are several differences between the illustration on the left and the illustration on the right. The differences that make the largest impact would be the eyes. So the version on the left, the initial version that many people created a Tyrannian Chomby for, have these large puppy-like, baby-like eyes that are very appealing and just cute. While the version on the right has a more standardized eye, it is the Chomby that you expect to see. Another change that we see is that the line art, there are thick black lines on the version on the right. And this is more in line with the canon. It's consistent with what we generally see on Neopets. There's also a weird change that got made to the tail. Altogether, there's not a huge difference between the art on the left and the right. Just the one on the left is more baby-like, it's cuter, and it's more endearing to the species in general. So there was a little bit of upset about this change. While I haven't seen any abject outrage in the form of people boycotting and leaving and getting rid of their accounts over this, I have seen quite a few memes just showing preference for the old art over the new art, or throwing out fan art in preference to either of them, or comparing the outrage to the outrage of the conversion that happened in 2007, where users lost their preferred art without their choice, and how this is just another microcosm of Neopet Team's ability to do that without consent from the usership. But where's the adult comedy you were promised? Okay, alright, buckle in. To start at the very beginning of this saucy piece of comedy, you add the 4 letters USSY to the end of a noun to make it scandalous and sexualized. And that is what one of our friends over at the Neopets Nation Facebook group did to the Chomby in order to create the Neopet chombussy. And Chombussy was a star. Everybody loved Chombussy. Which is why it was so devastating when the Neopets team purged Chombussy from the website. This name was technically within the filters. That's how it got through. That's why it's so funny. It's so funny because when you're naming something on neopets.com, the filters are so strict and overreaching that whenever you find something that gets through the filters and is timely and is adult, it's hilarious to the Neopets users. That's why this was pure gold in meme form. Because when you go through the create a pet process, this is an acceptable name. However, it is incredibly unacceptable. And the reaction of seeing this event unfold was very appealing to many members of the Neopets fandom, including me. I probably ugly cackled for a good 5 minutes when I was following this journey because it is just so funny to name a Neopet a Chomby. Chombussy. So this meme on its own was pretty funny, right? The whole Chombussy scenario. But then you factor in the fact that at the same time, possibly one of the factors that got the ball rolling was the fact that Neopets team had released the Tyrannian Chomby, which was kind of a sweetheart to the community. So you've got the Tyrannian Chomby sweetheart going on, and then you have the parallel path of the meme going on, which kind of magnified the effects of both. So now not only do you have the controversy going on about the artwork getting changed, but then you also have like the very fun and silly controversy of they killed Chombussy. And if you're like, I didn't see any of this, it might be because you're not in the Neopets Nation Facebook group. Over on Reddit, there was nary a word about Chombussy except for a single thread where they acknowledged its existence. So clearly, this was a very small meme in a small community because the greater Neopets world was more upset with the art change. But in this tiny little sub-community of Neopets, which is by far my favorite, it's hilarious, this became its own in-moment. Instead of just focusing on the outrage of the Tyrannian Chomby, the meme begot the importance of another meme. It kind of like had a beautiful symbiotic moment where they both blew up, and probably because of the increase in activity because of one another. To me, I can't really talk about one without talking about the other, because the fact that the Chomby incited not only but one, but 2 dramas this week is so newsworthy to me that, like I said, I told several people about it last night. I told somebody about it today, and it doesn't surprise me that I saw this screenshot in the Neopets Nation Facebook group of somebody else first describing the Chombussy drama and then the Tyrannian Chomby drama, because to me they're just so intertwined. The ridiculousness of one kind of leads into the prominence of the other, right? They tell a complete story, which is why I'm glad that you sat with me and listened to me tell you this story of the Chomby in March 2022. That's all I have for you guys today. There's not like a whole lot going on. You know, we had a new feature over in Flight Rising. The Lore Wolf early access happened. I haven't set up my account yet. It's just a lot. I just recently had my fiance move in, so we're, you know, sorting out furniture and things, and in grad school doing trade shows for work and stuff. So maybe we'll talk about something else next time, but who knows when next time's gonna be. Thank you for subscribing, all you guys' support. I appreciate you all so much. Bye.